So we were playing Cowardly King Janus Chess. The Janus Chess is this 8x10 board with the two. Well, it's actually one extra pieces, but twice. It's a bishop plus knight combo.
Oh wow! Okay.
So we played with. We played on a 10x8 board last time, wasn't it? Was it Casablanca chess? Was
Oh
it?
no, it was just it
Or
had
Gothic
the
chess?
rook combo,
Yeah, it had the rook and knight combo.
the chancellor.
So, and then Cowardly King chess is the king must always be touching a friendly piece, not pawn, but a piece. I don't know any good openings for them.
Really, oh, they're not worth quite as little as the last game, but they're still not worth nearly as much on this board.
What do you have to do? Like, what's the work you got to get done?
Oh, I have to write 2 pieces by February 8th. Push up my musical analysis, Gallant style. I looks at 18th century music and he tries to think of it in 19th century romantic terms. So he doesn't want to ever talk about tonality or Roman numerals or anything like that. So he's just trying to analyze the music based upon the writings of the time. So it's pretty fucking crazy. And I have to do that, to do some kind of field recording and write a short composition for that. Then I have to start writing my other piece. Anyways, this is a lot, but it's really interesting. I'm just really thankful. Oh, fuck it, man. I already fucked up. Jesus fucking Christ. The thing I'm starting to realize is, I just use, all the time. Is that a bad thing? Do you think that's just, people are going to look down on me for that here?
For profanity?
It's specific kinds of profanity. Uses of the word fuck don't seem to be looked down upon by a lot of people here.
Where's here? Or what's here?
The circles that I'm in Pittsburgh, the musicians around, mind fuck a lot, but then any kind of ideology that refers to Christianity, if it's said in a cussing way, they do not seem to take it very well. They're weird looks. If I say Jesus, goddamn motherfucker, that one they don't like either.
Well, so you're allowed to. I mean, I guess you might have to have teacher's approval, but you can write anything you want. So if you want to write a song and put on a concert called, I don't know.
No, it's not really about the music. I think in a musical context, they would be fine with it if I had a reason. I'm talking about an everyday conversation. A cultural difference from how I grew up. And people seem more judgy, use Christian ideology. If you say Jesus, it's people just look at you oh God, you're signaling. It seems like that. I'm feeling it as a social phenomenon. If I say that, people look at me and are just kind of bringing up, even oh God would be thing. That would be a statement itself that would be looked down. But it's they give me this look oh gosh, you're kind of bringing up the shitty old past of anger from a religious perspective that was ingrained in society that's shitty. Am I reading into it too much? I mean, I feel it's really like that. People are like that. They don't want anything to be reminded of the old system. And it's if you show you're in the old system, shitty, and what are you doing? Into it too much, but it seems every single time I do that, it's look, I don't know. It's you've already heard my whole system of ideology on this, and shit. but like I've also been saying Jesus, goddamn motherfucker, and fucking an aggressive way for 27 years. So it's like, get excited, and like that's when I say those things, I usually get excited, like, oh, this motherfucking music's so fucking good. I'll be like, Jesus, man, that was awesome. Part of how I talk, and it's like, so I could either over censor myself and then like lose my passion and keep getting like weird looks from everybody and like having to like work through that extra dynamic of like I'm not like, you know, like the Jesus smuggling thing or something. I feel like I'm reading into it a lot, but like you can correctly read into things a lot, and I just want to know if I'm correct or incorrect.
I mean, I couldn't answer that, I don't think.
I mean, does it bother you if people say like words, right?
Does it bother me if what?
You listen more to the context of the absolute things. Like, you're not going to be bothered if I say, in which I say,
Oh, I'm not offended by profanity or irreverent things against Jesus, I guess. Would be.
But I mean, you would be, but it's more the context of what it said is what you're saying, right?
I don't know if I would be. I mean, I can't think of a situation where I have been or.
Think about it. If I said motherfucker to like a little child and I walked up to him and say, you little motherfucking piece of shit, like, that's profanity, but like, you would be against that profanity because the context of it would be.
I mean, I guess if it was my
You're into
kid,
the meaning of it.
I don't know.
You're into the background of why it's used, right?
I think that parent would be more offended than me. Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you would mark that as probably not a good thing to do, but it doesn't really have to do with the profanity as much as it does have to do with the context in which the profanity was used.
Yeah. Like, have you heard Tim Minchin's song?
Yeah, of course, man.
The Pope
like,
song. Where it's I think the song is called "Fuck the Pope."
Oh, I'm talking about the one called Ginger or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And how he references the N-word in a really clever way.
Oh, the Pope one was it's literally a song of just saying like "fuck the Pope," like most of the song, and then he goes into a point of like, if this offends you more than like the Pope and his scandals, then if the song offends you, then like, you know, maybe your morals should be looked at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. Okay, I just wanted to see if you were in that chain, like.
I mean, but there's a difference. I mean, I would say there'd be a difference in school life and like professional life, because school life, especially with doctorate, is like half professional life. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, but see, dude, here's the thing, man. In the PhD program I'm in, dude, there is no difference between school life and life, right? There is no difference. Like, your job is to network, and like, you're always on the clock. You know what I mean? Like, you're always making relationships that could turn into professional stuff. Like, you know how music is? Like, there's a blurring. It's not like a job, you know? Life and art is like just no, not on the clock. So yeah, I mean, I guess there's a difference between being in the classroom. Relationships are even less important. Like, your most important thing is outside of the classroom. What do you think?
I mean, go ahead and do your move.
Talking about what?
Well, I just lost.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna.
Nice. I just looked at the board and was like, okay, nice. Oh, what do you think, though?
What do I think about what?
I was saying. Like, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Where the art and the thing is mixed, and like.
Where the art and thing is mixed.
Art and life is mixed so much in a PhD program that like.
Yeah.
you were saying like the difference is that there's social context and there's non. So there's sometimes when you can say it when you can't. So what I'm saying is, questioning, should I not be saying that at a concert either? Like, you know what I mean? Should I then only be able to use the cuss words of my growing up?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, it's one theory of, like, self, of, like, you know, do we put a mask on to everyone? Like, is it just who we are to different people? Like, I'm different towards my parents, as I'm different towards you, as I'm different towards my professors. Like, that's one theory of self. Like,
we're always wearing a mask. The question is, how aware are we of it, and how often do we want to switch?
well, so I mean, like I was gonna mention, like when we were in Maine, like I feel like I would speak differently around you, you know, when we were drinking at that one point, than I would, you know, in the whole group context. I don't know. I mean, I try not to be like overly offensive to different things, and I invited you to a new game and made a move.
Okay.
I try not to be like overly offensive to things when I'm in a public setting, but I don't know. I mean, there's not many chances of me being in a public setting where I'm like making this big talk. I mean, I was usually either in a classroom where I was listening, or either like answering one question, or just you know, not really talking.
I don't know. It just seems like everyone's watching what you say like a fucking hawk here. I don't know. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
I've always just not had as much of a sense of.
I mean, like if they like, that's what I kind of felt of, like, at least one of my teachers seemed to like be looking for, you know, like the school life was professional life. Like he was making sure I was going to be professional, and that everything I showed was going to indicate that I was going to be a professional in the future.
But when you're talking about art, what the fuck does professional mean? You know what I mean? It's just not a business. You know what I mean? Like in business, it's obvious where the professional lines and non-professional lines are, and it's not obvious. It's than art, right? Because art, like,
well, it could be. So, like, one of the things that we're talking about of like getting a piece done, like one of his big things was like, you always meet a deadline. That is like one of his things of being professional was like.
Yeah, that's not the context I'm talking about. I do agree with that. I actually do agree with that. But I mean, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about speech. You know. That is yeah. I agree with that. Agree. Good one, man. Have you taken it to heart?
I mean, I made the deadlines in grad school. I haven't really had any deadlines since then, so I think I have done good so far.
It's a pretty good deadline to meet.
For our graduation, they made us like fill out this thing online to like be able to get our diploma or whatever. I don't know. And it like they didn't say what they're gonna do it, but like it was like, what are you gonna do after school? Like, what are your plans, stuff like that. What was your favorite memory? And while we were on graduation, like they had us all on stage, we were sitting down, and they had us like walk up to the middle of the stage, and they read that out loud. Like,
did they tell you how they were gonna do that?
Nope.
Fuck, that is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
So I was like, it was like one of the only things I had to do to graduate, and I was like, I already did my thesis. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't care to tell the school what I'm gonna do at like.
Right. I mean, I kind of get that. It's also stupid when you talk, especially talking about art. Where are you gonna be in 5 years? It's like, I make fucking pieces of sound. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. What'd you say?
I mean, I know at least like two of my answers were like not great.
Don't remember, dude? Come on, or you don't want to say it.
I'm trying. I mean, I'm trying to think of. I don't want to like butcher it, so I'm trying to like get
Don't
specifically.
say it. It's gonna be funny. Like, don't. If it's fear that you don't want to say it, don't say
No,
it.
no, I'm not. I'm not afraid.
Tell me
Cause
honestly if you don't want to say it on air.
no, no, it's not.
I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get it specifically correct and not like.
Sorry, I'm also being like a pusher here to hear what you have to say.
Oh, damn it! Ah, I did not see the bishop knight.
I'll let you think for a little bit, but also remember you have something to tell me.
I can say the questions, and I'll just as I think of my answers. So I know the first question was like, "What are you gonna do after you graduate?" And mine was just like really smart ass answer. It was like,
Get humor, like
no, it's just like
I'm get to live
I'm gonna
my life.
continue living my life normally without school. I'm gonna look for jobs and probably go hiking this summer. Like it was like like if a friend asked me that, not like a piece of paper. It was just like, well, dot dot dot. I'm not exactly sure. Like my exact plans day to day. Like it was something like really smart ass like that. And not like
say anything to you? Like, could you feel that people were like, shit? You feel that or no?
no, because luckily most people didn't have good answers. And like most people didn't have like I know what I'm doing type of answers. Or like I knew this was going to be read out loud answers.
It's so insidious and like fucked up. Like, like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, because you have to imagine anyone who made those questions and decided that more than likely is part of the university system.
Yeah, they were really bad questions.
They've done that before themselves. You know what I mean? They know the angst of that question, and they know that not telling anyone, it's really fucked up. Unless somehow it slipped through the cracks, but like it just seems. So
favorite memory. Favorite memory. People had some good, like people had fine ones, but most people's were like inside memory jokes that like wouldn't be known to the crowd.
Yeah,
So like,
sure, but that's just kind of that's what that shit's for. You know what I mean?
no, but I mean they were just reading them out to the crowd, and people would like just stand there as like, yep, that was my favorite memory.
That's funny. I don't know, dude. It's just like I met a dude who's getting like a PhD. He got a PhD in physics from Pitt, and he's like connected to somebody here. He's some real shit. He was just like, "Wow, dude." Goes, "Yeah." He like hated his job, and he's like, "Yeah, I figure out a way to keep having this much fun because like it lasted for me till about 31." And then he's like, just he's like, and then he was just like, said like, your real job is to network, and he said like, I didn't do that, and
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I that has been a recent hesitation to like more get a doctorate has been like, yeah, that is my like I'm going to be networking.
But I hate thinking about it like that. It's so like, and I think honestly, I think that and this is me, grain of salt, me. I think the people who think like that, who call it networking, and who think about it in that negative connotation, are the people who fuck up and don't do it well. You know what I mean? people who are gonna fuck it, because I've always hated that idea of networking. And like, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone who's really successful at it, like, been the, and this is just another thing, but it seems to be only the people who've either failed at it or clearly aren't good at it. Dude, it's about networking, man. You gotta make some friends. You gotta. It's just like, because I feel like the reason they probably failed is because they're viewing it like that. Like, no one wants to get to know someone who like is putting on the guise of like that salesman pitch, like, oh man, that was a great piece. So just let you know, I got a website, you know, like something like that. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny that's where I feel like those are the people who suck the most, is what I found, or not suck the most. Sorry, that's wrong. But it seems like it comes from the people who have failed, that they always say, oh, it's about networking, which they're not wrong. But it's like implicit in their saying is the negative view that they're thinking about it like that, which they must be transferring that socially as this idea of you are an object and not a friend. The problem is they should be so passionate that they just want to make friends with everyone. And why would they ever treat anyone bad? Because they're open enough to understand that everyone's a unique individual that offers some kind of hope.
Yeah.
Ability of some kind of chance encounter of goodness. So I just don't understand, you know? I mean, what do you think about that? Like, I think that might be the way I solve this problem.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this before of like, I asked the question of like, would you still write music if you knew no one was going to hear it? Like,
I think that's a weird question, because go the other way and say the best thing to do is to write music so everyone will hear it, no matter who they are and without any prejudice. You see what I'm saying? You could go the other way, and that's just as helpful. The problem isn't that you want people to hear it. The problem is that you're at prejudices of hearing. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, well, I was just gonna try to segue into a point of like.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
You're good. Like most of, like the whole process of interacting with players and then getting it performed is like 1% of the process, and it's like, it's also my least favorite part.
Yeah, but that's an issue that, I mean, that's an issue though, you know?
Well, for
it's not a good thing.
I mean, issue for who? I mean, it's not. It hasn't been an issue for me. It's, I mean, because again, it's only that 1%.
Okay.
I mean, it's only that 1% of my time that.
But isn't that, see, you could argue that's the most important part though, because you can't do anything, right? I mean, unless you play all your own music. I don't know.
But what do you mean I can't do anything? I'm still spending 99% of my time doing something, which is writing music.
Yeah, but see, you can't conflate the idea of time. Saying time does not always equate to importance. 99% of your time writing the piece, but that doesn't mean that 99% has the most importance, right?
But okay, but importance to who?
Knowing the person might actually be more important.
Importance is, yeah, to who? Importance to, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, the writing process is more important to me. I mean, I don't.
Okay. And to you, I guess. I don't know. To me, I don't think it is. I think it's very important, extremely important. But
like,
to me,
well, I get more out of the writing process and like doing the writing work than I do the one day of listening.
No. I'm not talking about that. For me, it's the relationship itself. It's not even the piece or the listening. It's like the passing and exchange of musical influence, that exchange being embodied in a performance. You know what I mean? Like, the good thing is about, like, it's not any one thing. It's the literal musical exchange that's interesting to me. So it's like writing a piece is like the hard fucking terrible work of it for me. Not always. Like, the most fun for me would be like talking with the performer and being like, what do you think of this? How do we make this thing? You like that part or not as much?
I'm pretty much just the exact opposite. It's not hell for me to write music. that's why I do it. I enjoy it, and it's
I,
more.
I shouldn't have said it's hell for me.
Well, yeah,
Like,
okay,
I
yeah.
just love it when
I mean,
that's
I
not the
mean,
most
yeah.
thing.
I mean, we're speaking in hyperbole here. But
Yes, thank you, dude. That was such an apt yes.
but I it is more hell to me to go and talk to players and yeah, ask them questions that they usually give bad answers to.
Yeah, but that also could just be the environment you were in. Because, like, if you're with a good performer, like, they're like, in a way, composers, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's nothing worse than having a performer who's used to just reading Brahms, and then you give them music where they, like, they think about what the fuck they're doing, and then they're just like, yeah. And then they just fuck your piece up, and it doesn't even sound like anything.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I hear it in my head usually better than what it's played, just because there's always at least like one little mistake. So like, I mean, I get overly dramatic with it, but it's like, well, I'd rather just listen to it in my head. Like, I mean, not, uh, I mean, not all the times, but like, just usually the events of putting musical things on, getting all the performers ready and whatnot, is just more stressful than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I've. Yeah, interesting. No, I like your perspective. Like, it's interesting to hear. In PhD, like, it is like so much. Like, yeah, it is just a lot of that aspect that you're not as attractive to. I feel like people put so much emphasis on that shit. It's like I like it, but it's also like you realize like you just have to be ready for people to like, you know,
For people to what?
like you. Like that opportunity is very. Just like you have to interact with people. That's what it seems like to succeed. You have to be interacting, and it's like interaction just
yeah, that
brings
was
the opportunity for tension.
I was kind of at least in undergrad. I kind of had didn't like because I was like I could just be a teacher and not have to like get tons of music or interact with tons of people. I would just interact with whoever's giving me the job and then my students. But sadly,
Being a teacher is fucking hard in a context that's not like a community college or something. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's a lot.
Well, even community colleges usually don't have composers, so it's like even that's.
Akeem's teaching at one, I think.
The composer there.
Well, I think as like a more of like a theory.
Yeah.
Like more.
That's why, that's what's available. I'm talking about is there composition jobs aren't,
Yeah.
Which, to me, I mean, I love teaching theory, so I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but it's like. Just rough, man. Like, it's like the other thing you realize is like talking bad about someone behind their back really is the stupidest thing you could ever do.
Oh,
People think is like it's one of the stupidest things. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, I usually negate that with just being honest with people. I mean, if I really hate someone or like would feel the urge to talk behind their back, I'd usually make it pretty clear to them or just straight out tell them.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing I was going to say is that some of these people have the view, an open view toward life in general, that they would say something to the nature of ever talk bad about someone when everyone to them that you're not going to like inevitably, right? Because we're complex human beings. So why would you ever what you don't like when you could simply search for what you do like and find commonality? Find a commonality where you do not like them. What would ever be the point of saying that you don't like them unless you are forced into a context in where you must meet? So then the only two options I think people would think is that you either hang out with them because you like them and will strive to find common ground. And if you seem to not, or it's not worth your time, then you would just get away from them. Why, unless you are forced into a context with them, why would you ever bad talk them? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, but I feel like that's an implicit thing here. I've said a few bad things about someone, and it's like people just give you this look of like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, last night I was talking to that physicist guy, and I said something at Campbell, last school of Campbell University. I usually bad talk it a little bit because it's such a terrible thing. But then he brought that to my attention, and he goes, even I brought it to my own attention because I realized what I was saying. And then I said, well, it was what I needed at the time. Quickly, like, corrects me. And he goes, stop me before I said it. Because I was like, it's one of those programs. And then he goes, well, he just, like, made this face. And then he goes, it's what you needed at the time. Like, why are you even talking about it? Like, he gave me this face of, like, I'd talk anything if it's what you needed at the time. And supporting that same thing I just said of like, is an interactional thing that you're looking for the good of it. And if you can't find it, either avoid it, bad talking it. It's like just a total switch of mindset for me. So it's like, that's not how I've lived my life. Like my entire life, I've always gone with what you said, your view of like, honesty will solve all, But it's like you're always being dishonest in a way, right? Because you always have a gate between what you can and cannot say.
I guess it depends what you mean by honest. I mean, like, obviously, if I have to give an answer and be honest about it, I'm pressured by a certain amount of time or a.
But shouldn't you always
like
think to the positive? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to paint everything you say in a positive outlook, in a sense of thinking, how could this make me have a more positive future? You know what I mean? Aren't you always having to gate what you say, right? You always have to choose your words, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, why not always choose your words? Negativity. So it's like, why would you ever say something negative? Unless you were forced to. But it's like, how often are you really forced to say something negative? But then if you're even forced to say something negative, why would you not paint that negativity in the best possible light without losing it as much of the criticism? I don't know, it's just a different view. Because I used to think of rawness as a good thing in itself. Like, that's a thing I used to think of. It's like, oh, I'm being raw. Good thing on its own is like, I'm being raw, so that means, for itself. I don't know. It's just a different mindset. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but it's hard for me, is what I'm saying. Like, in this kind of functionality, and like, it just seems like a total mind shift. And these people, like, I agree kind of with how they act. And it's not everyone, of course. I'm making up, a lot of people are like that, and it's just a different way to live, man. Like, I don't understand it really.
And I don't think honesty would solve all. I think it's more of a probably just making the best out of the situation.
Yeah.
It prevents unnecessary stress, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know.
I agree with you there too. That's the thing, right? Is because, and that's the thing of like the hard thing to do in life. I feel like it's not lying, being positive, and putting out and having a positive outlook. So it's like, that's how I look at my life now. It's like, how can I be as raw as possible? Realize that I want to boil all of my honesty, whatever that means, like some kind of positive outlook. So it's like this balance. I don't know. Because I agree with you, because if you do lie, which lying is the worst thing. Oh, fuck, man. I'm fucked.
You got me with a
Lying.
smother mate in the last game in like move 8.
Oh no, I think I got out of it. Got out of it.
Ah, nice.
Then now I can just take that pawn. Wait, I need to be quiet because there might be something else. Just telling you what I'm doing. I don't know, man. It's hard, dude. All I was saying is like social interactions up here. It's fucking. And the funny part is everyone's listening, right? And the people I'm dealing with are the best listeners, you know, because they're musicians. So they just hear everything you say, you know, and it kind of makes sense. It's like being aware of what you say and what you're doing. Like you realize, holy shit. Like, fuck, what am I saying? What am I doing? It's hard. Really fucking hard. Ah, damn it. Fucking damn it.
Okay, well, I'm missing what you're seeing, so good on that.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't see like a. Oh.
Yeah. There you are, sir.
It's not like a killer move. I'd rather promote.
Went up. I mean, or 2 points, I guess, because I did take that pawn, but you just got 2 points. You got more. Down more. Get out of this. Okay, because I can move like this. Okay. Have they ever done a combo of Oh, I guess that, yeah. I guess the queen knight is the best combo you can really do with the traditional pieces, right? What's a queen knight combo called?
Either a super queen or an Amazon. They vary.
Amazon. That's what I like. I like the Amazon. Yeah, that's sexy. My turn.
Oh no, sorry.
Let's play with the super queen sometime.
Sounds good.
Remember that game called Amazons on that like website?
Yeah, I really like it. Those are just regular queens.
Yeah,
I think didn't we played Perfect Chess, didn't we? Where it had a super queen.
I think that's vaguely familiar.
It was like one of each piece. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was one of the first ones we played, and I'm pretty sure you beat me.
Oh, nice.
At least one of the games.
This kind of chess with all these really good pieces, there's just a lot of opportunities to just like chase people around, you know? The traditional chess, you really, I mean, one of the biggest chasing things is just the queen, and the rooks can kind of be chased around. But then it's like the minor pieces, you can still kind of look around for pawn trades and stuff, like 2 pawns for a piece, and that can like be lucrative a lot of times. So it's like not as big. But with this, it's like you have pieces that like can be chased around pretty easily, and it's like actually kind of a big deal.
Man, I was setting up something, and your bishop stopped. Your bishop move stopped for that.
I did something good there.
I was.
That's good.
So I was. Your bishop was on c7, and I was trying to figure out a way to put my knight on d7 to make your king move to a8, which would be a win.
Oh shit. Okay.
But your knight, all your knights on would be on e5 would be guarding it. So everything guarding that knight on e5 is a knight, and that guards d7 as well. So it's kind of tough.
If you just attack my rook right now and kill my rook, like, you win. And I get close to the... No, sorry, I'm a fuck.
No, because you recapture it, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck.
I'm not in a good position, though.
Are you not in a good position?
To move this archbishop somewhere.
And just move it to e2.
e2?
Yeah, why not? It's not a great move, like, it's gonna give you a bad positioning. Well, you could move it to a4.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a4.
A4 is not bad. For this, just kidding. Let's see here. I guess that does give me that, but it's not really that great. Honestly, it probably just weakens me. Oh no, this is actually a good threat. But it's not like if you would have gone to e2, it would have stopped. Like, you could have done it, you know? That's a big threat because...
Yeah. Yep, I'm aware.
Oh, wait, did I just, like, win the game over that?
I'm trying to think.
Holy shit! I think I did, because you have to find a way to defend that. Wow, I didn't realize how good a move that really was. See, now that even takes another huge piece out of the game for you.
Yep.
You're just like, okay, why do you keep saying like, see how this works?
I am in a bad position. Like, thank you.
Let me describe to you why you just made a terrible move. It's like, okay, thanks, man. Just shut up and play, bitch. Alright.
I'm pretty much had a good move.
Yeah. This just brings up so many interesting mating possibilities. It's really...
Yeah, actually the bishop knight combo can mate by itself. I mean, I guess a queen can too, depending on the position, but I guess any, yeah.
It can mate by itself with no other pieces on the board?
I think it can mate by itself. It can mate by itself without being guarded by the king. Yeah, yeah. I mean...
You can't do that. Can't do it with nothing else on the board. Like, you have to use your king combo together. You have to somehow use
No,
your
if
king.
the king, so if the king is on J1 in a corner, you can put that piece on H3 and it's checkmate.
Talking about the queen knight.
The bishop knight. So if the king was, so say the king was in J1.
I was talking about the queen can't do that. Queen has to have a king in conjunction to mate.
Yeah, but the bishop knight does not.
That's so cool.
I think. I mean, depending. Well, I guess. Yeah. Well, if it's in the corner, it can, not just in a. Oh, well.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if it's in the corner, it can. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. God damn it! Can I take that back? No, he won't.
Well, would you want?
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Turn, right?
I recaptured with the.
Oh, why isn't it letting me move?
You're in check.
What? Fuck my dingle. Oh, you won. No, I guess I can cover. Dude, I'm in a dangerous spot, bro. We're about to be in a dangerous spot. Watch out. I'm in a dangerous spot. Dangerous right now.
I'd agree.
I think I lost.
It'd be tied. We got one game each if you do lose.
Let's go ahead and lose then. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna try to make my own moves. A game.
From what I calculated, but Uh, go ahead.
I would say so.
I think this game. Okay.
Voice.
So that's where I was trying to move my knight all along. Finally got it.
Was your entire plan scheme?
Yeah, I was scheming that. What did you want to do instead of recapture the knight? Or recapture the bishop? I captured your knight, and then you captured your bishop with a pawn, and you said you wanted to take that back?
Oh, I was just gonna move. It was stupid. Like it didn't work.
Okay.
Like it wasn't a good move.
Those were good games. Yeah, I'm glad we liked this variant because it was a variant that I wasn't thinking was gonna be amazing, but it not great, but like.
I would say this is an amazing variant because it's like so. The reason I like it is because it's so much like normal chess.
Yeah, but like with really weird mating things.
Really interesting components. Like so, it's bigger. So you have these two really interesting pieces. You have this added dynamic of. It's just so interesting to me. I don't know.
All right.
This is probably my favorite variant we've ever played.
Cool. Glad to know that. Put that on the.
You like it too?
Yeah, I like it. So, anyone in the chat on Twitch/YouTube, thanks for watching. We enjoyed it. See you next time. See you around.